Hello everybody, welcome to Tony's Beer Reviews. As you can see, we're back in the ale house after a night away in that there London. I had a great time down there. It's always nice to be back in familiar surroundings. Anyway, we're here. It is day 10 of my Yorkshire craft beer advent calendar. Let's see what we've got, shall we? Crack it open. I'll see the cap so I know what brewery it's from. There we have from Acorn Brewery, Gorlovka. It's an Imperial Stout coming in at 6% ABV. Kind of familiar with this because I actually had this a couple of months ago, I think it was. From memory, I thought it was quite nice, but they are quite a good brewer. I do like Acorn Brewery. I think they're quite nice. So yeah, we can have a little drink of this, see what it's like again. A little bit of a chat. I think hot on the agenda at the moment, I think with people, particularly people that like the industry, I suppose. The industry's going through some really hard times. I mean, it has been since the pandemic, if we're being honest. Just really quickly, that has poured, very dark. Not a lot of light getting through it, but there's a lot of light getting through and a lovely tan head there. Yeah, since the pandemic, the industry's been through some really bad times. I don't know, in 99.9% descriptions I always say, if you can, because I know it's if you can, buy local. Whether it's direct from a brewer, whether it's using a wholesaler, some of these middlemen, or a retailer, local retailing, your bottle shops, those sorts of things. Try, if possible, to use these guys rather than, particularly the retailers, rather than big supermarkets. Going to your bottle shop, local bottle shop, you'll always find beers that you can't find in a supermarket. So if you want some more inspiration, go into a bottle shop, and we've all got them locally, or micro pubs or something like that. There's always somebody local retailing really good beers, usually from smaller breweries. Have a snifter. Yeah, it's a really nice beer stout. 6%, probably a little bit weak for me for an Imperial Stout, but it smells nice. It's malty, it's got that roast malt aroma, it's got dark fruit, like it's got plums and raisin aroma. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, so support local as much as, and I know it's difficult. I know if you go to a bottle shop, because it is different beer to what you can get in the supermarket, instead of paying what, I don't know, nowadays you can get deals in supermarkets for £2 for a pint of beer. You probably won't pay any more than, well, you can pay up to £5 to be fair in a supermarket, but bottle shops tend to be fairly high priced anyway. So it's difficult for a lot of people. But yeah, since the pandemic, there's been problems. Before then, Brexit probably never helped a lot of the small brewers. Then we had the pandemic, and now we've got cost of living crisis. I mean, I think even this week, Wild Beer Company from Somerset, they're going under. Twisted Wheel, lovely little brewery I've read about recently, they're going. Slater's in Stafford, they've said they'll continue to the end of the year, and then that's it, they'll wind up next year. Absolutely horrendous. And I don't think a lot of these, to be fair, would be saved if we all went and bought beers from these places. I mean, fundamentally at the moment, it is that cost of living crisis. Energy, it's a fairly energy intensive process to create beer. and that's going to hurt people quite a lot, and particularly if they can't diversify. If it is a small brewer that for some reason can't try lots of different craft beers because they may be too small, they haven't got the capacity to do that. And one of my favourite brewers in Keighley, they've just done brewing. Luckily, they are expanding and they're going to open their own little tap room. Well, they've got their own little tap room in the brewery, but they're opening a little pub and tap room in town in Keighley. And if you can do that, if you can start to expand like that, then absolutely brilliant, absolutely amazing. And it does help them a lot. But if you can't do that for whatever reason, the money is tight, we understand money is tight, then these brewers are going to go under. I am annoyed at the government, particularly over the pandemic. We did lost a few local pubs in Yorkshire, and you could see that brewers, particularly, no brewers were getting any help. And there's stories every day coming out about brewers not being able to get the beers out. Beers they had out, beers had brewed, having to throw away because there was no way of getting it to consumers. Absolutely dreadful, really dreadful. And whilst the government helped the hospitality industry, the restaurants, catering businesses, that sort of thing, brewers got left behind, absolutely left behind, absolutely got trashed. If they survive that, brilliant. It's probably what doesn't kill you, makes you that little bit stronger. But it's just one of the government. The government for me could have helped more then. And like the cost of living crisis now, the government could look at an industry like that and say, these guys need help. We didn't help them through the pandemic. Let's help them now. Let's do something to help them now. But they just don't seem to be interested in helping the brewing industry, and I don't know why. There's the old adage, isn't there, that we're a nation of shopkeepers. I think the truth of the matter is we have been in the past a nation of brewers. For me, it doesn't seem that long ago. 150 years ago, 200 years ago, every town had a little brewery of some description. We had one here where I live. It's all gone now. Everything's actually gone from it. But we had one here. All towns had a brewery at one point. So we've had that industry. We've been massive in that industry. Your stouts, your porters, your Imperial Stout. Your Imperial Stout was invented in this country. We all think of it as being Russian, but it was a British company, British brewer down in London, I think, probably down in London, that brewed for Catherine the Great, and that produced this. So we are a nation shopkeepers, but for me, we were a nation of brewers until they started to merge and breweries started to close down breweries, which they are doing now. That's Dark Star, which a lot of drinkers will know. Dark Star, their brewery's closing down. The brand will exist and will get brewed somewhere else, but it's not always the point. There's nothing else I can do. Great. So I've been keeping my eye on crowdfunding. I've helped crowdfund a couple of a couple of brewers in the UK that want help. The latest one, I can't remember who they were. Honestly, to me, sometimes it doesn't really matter who they are, as long as if they want help, I'll do whatever I can to help. And they wanted a canning machine, and they've crowdfunded. I got an email this morning actually. They've actually managed to crowdfund a canning machine, which will help them vastly, help them get the beers out to a bigger audience, and hopefully that small donation I made will help them thrive. We can but hope. We've got to help to afford stuff, and not everybody can. I am in a good position. I'm old, so I've been working and saving, and so when people need help, I'm in a fairly fortunate position. I can lend a small hand. Anyway, back to the beer. The game's on tonight, isn't it? Just seen Morocco. Just got in when we're in from London. Got dog from the dog kennels. Yeah, and just seen Morocco beat Portugal. Brilliant result, actually. Brilliant result. Bristol's up next. Come on, England. I've brought my pedigree in. All the games, for some reason, the first game, I wanted what I saw as a good English beer. And I do like Marston's pedigree, so I did buy a couple of bottles of that to watch the first one, and we won. So I've been buying that ever since to watch the games with. So hopefully that will do. Right, so this is sweet. This is malty. There's a hint of chocolate in there. It's got that dark fruit in there. So yeah, you got that plum. You got those raisin flavours coming through. And it's got a nice dry bitter finish. It's a nice beer. It is a nice beer. It's medium bodied. I do think Imperial Stouts need to be, you know, I've brewed an Imperial Stout. I'll have to do a review on it soon, because I'm gonna crack it. I've got a 2 litre one up there which I'm gonna take with me when we go for our Christmas dinner. Round at Relations, I'm gonna crack that open, and that'll be nice. Hopefully it'll be nice anyway, so I need to crack that open and have a taste that, see what it's like. So we're hopefully opening that soon. But mine's 10 point. Got to root that now. Oh, no, 11%. So it's Imperial Stout at 11%, and this is only coming at 6%. So I think it could be a little bit more substantial. I think it's a bit too simple. The quality's there. It tastes fantastic. The quality is absolutely there. I just think it's a little bit simple, a little bit underrated maybe. It's, you know, 6% ABV. I think for an Imperial Stout it could be a little bit more. That's really the only criticism I have about it. The taste, and like I say, the quality's in there. You can taste the quality in the beer. I just think a little bit of better ABV would just improve it that little bit more. But it costs. It's a small brewer. Understand all that. Score wise, I'm gonna give it, and I'm gonna have a look back actually because I can't remember what I gave it last time. I'm gonna give it 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10 from Andy's Beer Reviews. It's a lovely. I love stouts and porters in winter. They are good winter warmers. So whatever you're drinking, whatever you're drinking for the game tonight, enjoy it. Come on, England, we can do this. Yeah, come on, let's do it. Right, that's it for me. Off my soapbox, finished my drink, back into the house, into a little bit of warmth away from this cold ale house. So until next review, everybody, cheers.